Let me know if this sounds familiar to you. In your day-to-day operations in your church, regardless of whether you're a pastor or administrator or director, you encounter a number of different tasks and you're struggling with how to prioritize those tasks. I too have had those struggles as well. But today I'm going to talk about three principles that have helped me get past that. The first principle is going to help minimize anxiety. The second principle will help maximize productivity. And the third principle will help maintain accountability. Welcome to the Navigating Church Leadership and Culture podcast. My name's Darren Woods. Today we're going to be talking about embracing the three principles of ditch, deal, and delegate. And we're going to be talking specifically about how these principles will help you in your day-to-day productivity as a church leader. The first concept, the first principle is that of ditch. When he talks about the concept of ditch, it really will address ways in which you can minimize anxiety. And basically, ditching involves you understanding that there are important tasks to be completed, but those tasks don't necessarily necessitate you being the one to perform those tasks. They are important, but they are unimportant to you. And I do want to give a caveat to that. I don't want to minimize the importance of various things that may come before you, whether it is helping set up sound or technology in your church, whether it's finding out there's a death in the church family and you have to begin planning who's going to be doing what in that responsibility. The concept of ditching basically means that it doesn't have to involve you. Just because you can doesn't really mean that you have to. And that's an important principle because if you're someone like me, I kind of have that Superman gene in the sense of thinking that I can do more than what I'm really capable or able to do. All right. So the second principle we're going to be talking about today has to do with the concept of dealing with tasks. And the benefit of this is the fact that dealing with these tasks will actually help you maximize your productivity. This is a situation where information comes before you and you realize it demands your immediate attention. We do this process of dealing with whatever comes before us in a number of different ways. There's a phone call that takes place and someone wants you, someone from the community calls and asks for prayer for a family member or for themselves. Well, that's not the time to basically say, well, that's unimportant to me. I'm sorry. I'm not available to help you pray. No, you deal with that particular need at that time. You take time out of whatever you're doing to talk to that individual, to pray for that individual and find out ways in which you can perhaps meet some of their needs. So that's a situation where you deal with it immediately in order to maximize that particular moment. All right. So we talked about ditch, we talked about deal, and the third principle I want to talk about today has to do with delegate. And this is a means to which you can actually maintain accountability. Now, delegation is somewhat of a dirty word in the church world for a number of different reasons. Some people mistakenly feel that by delegating, it basically means that you give it to someone else to do because you don't want to be bothered with it, or you don't want to be held accountable for whatever the results may be based upon whatever is being delegated. That's far from the truth. We see examples of this in the Bible. We see Jethro, who was the father-in-law of Moses, go to him and say, Moses, this is not good for you to have the people come before you day and night with particular needs that are important to them that you address. You're going to wear yourself out. This is something where you need to have and identify men throughout Israel, trusted leaders that you can help train and delegate authority to so that individuals can go to these particular leaders to address the concerns, and anything that they're not able to address, anything that bubbles up to you, then you can deal with it. And that's just a wonderful example of the concept of delegation. It doesn't mean that the task isn't important. What it means is there may be other more capable, more available, more um, insightful viewpoints from other individuals that would report back to you, that would keep you in a loop in terms of what's taking place. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be the one to do so. And that's the one, the delegation, which is the one that is the one I struggle with a lot, because sometimes within our flesh, in the moment, I feel like I can do it, and I don't want to bother other individuals. I don't want to take away time training them or explaining to them why different things are done. It's faster, it's better for me to complete it myself. That actually is counterintuitive to the delegation process. All right. So again, we talked about these three principles of ditch, of deal, and of delegation. And I hope and pray these principles are ones that you can put into practice. They're not always easy, but the work of the church and God's work is never promised to be easy. Thank you, and God bless.